Pokemon has had numerous controversies throughout its long-running history, with numerous design changes being amongst this history. But what are some of the weirdest changes Pokemon have implemented? Well, let's start off straight away by discussing what should have been a big step in the right direction for Pokemon. This is the story of Lenora, a gym leader from Pokemon Black and White. Lenora was the first black gym leader, and this is such a forward step for the developers of Pokemon. However, there were still concerns her design could be portrayed as a stereotype. Pokemon were very eager to show Lenora as a hard-working and lovable mother character. However, the apron was deemed to be inappropriate in the Western releases of the game, so every portrayal of Lenora, whether that be video games, anime, or even the manga, changed Lenora to be holding an apron over her shoulder. Certainly a bizarre change, but the Western release would not have done it without actual cause for concern, but this next Pokemon will change that. Pikachu. The mascot Pokemon, and arguably the most recognizable Pokemon in the world, used to have a considerably different design than he now has. Pikachu's older form, now dubbed as Chonkachu by the fans, made Pikachu more cuddly and cute as opposed to a serious threat. However, the design was changed, particularly in the anime. But why? Well, apparently the Western Pokemon developers thought Pikachu was too cute and cuddly to be an effective mascot for a prospective game franchise. As such, Chonkachu would be gone and replaced with the Pikachu we know today. However, I am glad that Chonkachu finally got some recognition in Sword and Shield, coming back as Pikachu's Gigantamax form. But what about a change from a design that most people would not even know? Well, then you would have Octillery's change from its beta design. There was a huge Pokemon leak a couple of years ago now that revealed a lot of beta Pokemon for Generation 2's Gold and Silver. Most of these had simple color palette swap or even minor changes. Octillery's beta design resembled much more of a tank than what we would eventually get out of Octillery. Octillery is a very basic Pokemon, but this original beta design would have given Octillery so much more character. It makes sense they would not want a Pokemon that resembled a devastating weapon in such a drastic way. But now back to a much needed design change. I won't talk about Jinx too much since a lot of people already know about this Pokemon's change. Jinx initially had a much darker face in all Pokemon media. This would go on to be changed due to the concerns that Jinx was actually depicting blackface. It's clear to see why Jinx had its design changed, as this is far too inappropriate for Pokemon. Now it's time for the lightning round, where I'm going to be very quickly noting some minor changes that Pokemon have been through that a lot of people won't have even noticed. Firstly, we have Sneasel's color change from brown with a blue ear to dark blue with a reddish pink color. Smeargle had his shiny and normal color palette swapped around after Generation 2. Poliwhirl, who now has big hammer hands, actually used to have fingers. Vaporeon used to have fins on his legs, but clearly they retconned this, or someone somewhere messed up a drawing and it just stuck. And that was the quickfire round, so let's keep on going. And where better to move to than this bizarre change in the anime? Misty as a character in the first seasons of the anime is very confident and strong-willed, and when people step out of line, she will put them back in their place. Usually with a slap, right? Well, no. In the Western release of the Pokemon anime, most of the times Misty gets aggressive with Ash and Brock cut completely. But now let's talk about a more modern design change. Gible. Gible's beta sprites were leaked as a part of the massive Pokemon leak mentioned earlier, and the original design is so cute and a really cool version very close to a shark, but it would go on to be changed. However, it is my hope that with the Paradox Pokemon coming into the fold, we could one day see this version of Gible in the mainline games. Just a hope, but it would be a very cool one. Now let's talk about one Pokemon that I didn't even realize ever had a design change, Blossom. Blossom is an evolution of Gloom that was introduced in Generation 2 to show off the ability for split evolutions. However, Blossom's original design would be changed shortly after, with Blossom originally matching the colors of Gloom. Now this was changed for a similar reason to Jinx, but in this case it feels weirdly done, as now Blossom looks nothing like the oddish line. But what do you guys think? Do you prefer the old or the new Blossom? And finally, let's talk about the weirdest design change Pokemon ever made, changing the Onigiri in the Pokemon anime. Onigiri is a delicacy and a sweet treat for children in Japan. Basically, it's a rice ball, but these don't exist in the same way in Western audiences. So the people behind the Western localization for the anime had made such a huge effort to change the onigiri to things like sandwiches, hamburgers, and jelly donuts. Why these were all changed is certainly bizarre, but I would argue that a lot of these were very safe changes for Pokemon and did not hurt the franchise to change. But all I'm gonna say is, please bring back Chonkachu again. Thank you guys for watching. Check out our Discord to be part of a massive Pokemon community.